This is a dangerous moment for all of Europe, for the freedom around the world. Putin has committed an assault on the very principles that uphold the global peace. This was never about a genuine security concerns on their part. It was always about naked aggression, about Putin's desire for empire by any means necessary, by bullying Russia's neighbors through coercion and corruption, by changing borders by force, and ultimately by choosing a war without a cause.
Good evening, black people and all allies fighting for black liberation, black prosperity, and black joy. I'm Charles Blow, and welcome to Prime. In one day, the global world order shifted. Earlier this morning, Russia's President Vladimir Putin announced he had ordered a special military operation to demilitarize Ukraine. Russian forces quickly launched a full-scale assault on the country from three sides, plunging Europe into its most significant conflict since World War II. Missile attacks from the sky and an invasion of troops on the ground bombarded cities across the country, including the capital of Kyiv. Russia also took control of the Chernobyl nuclear plant, the site of the 1986 radioactive explosion that led to 4,000 deaths. Ukrainian officials warned that a strike on the facility could release a radioactive cloud that could cover Ukraine, Belarus, and other European countries. Ukrainian citizens woke up to the sound of Russian airstrikes and have already begun to flee the country by the thousands. The Ukrainian president said 137 civilians and service members have already been killed. President Biden unleashed new sanctions against Russia for the attack, saying any nation that supports Putin will be stained by association.
Putin is the aggressor. Putin chose this war, and now he and his country will bear the consequences. This is going to impose severe cost on the Russian economy, both immediately and over time. We have purposely designed these sanctions to maximize the long-term impact on Russia and to minimize the impact on the United States and our allies.
Those sanctions include cutting off Russia's largest banks and companies from the Western market, limiting tech exports to the country, and freezing trillions of dollars in Russian assets. The president also announced he'd send thousands of additional U.S. troops to support NATO's defenses against Russia.
Our forces are not going to Europe to fight in Ukraine, but to defend our NATO allies and reassure those allies in the East. As I made crystal clear, the United States will defend every inch of NATO territory with the full force of American power.
Joining me now to discuss, Terrell Star, host of the Diplomats Podcast, who is coming to us from the Ukrainian capital, and Naveed Jamali, national security expert. So Terrell, you are there on the ground in Kyiv. What are you seeing now?
Well, I just heard two explosions that were very close to me. I don't know if they were cruise missiles. I don't know if they hit. From what I'm seeing online, it's an interceptor, or it could be a large aircraft that was shot from the air. Also, sirens are going off here. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. I can't sleep at all. But the main thing is that there's a mass exodus of people leaving the capital. At this point, it's difficult to leave because we don't know where it is to be safe anymore. And we don't know, people are seeking shelter in metro stations. There is a lot of panic, but there's not chaos. There's a difference here. And given what's happening, it's a miracle that there's not chaos here, but we're all very terrified. I'm doing my job to cover things as best I can. But yeah, it's getting real.
Naveed, in his televised address yesterday, Putin said he was taking action to demilitarize Ukraine because the West had pushed too far in trying to draw the country into the NATO alliance. Are we re-entering a Cold War-like conflict?
In a word, yes. I mean, you're hearing what Terrell is saying. It's disturbing. Look, clearly, unfortunately, Ukraine is facing a superior military in both strength and equipment. It is very likely that Russia will unfortunately prevail in its naked aggression to invade Ukraine. the reality, Charles, is that Putin's designs are not just on Ukraine. He looks at other former Soviets and wants to expand west. So yes, we are entering, I think, this sort of new Cold War, whatever the term is. You're going to see countries like Poland and other NATO countries start investing in weapons. They've already started buying U.S. Army tanks. I mean, you're going to see an arms race. You're going to see a real worry that Putin is going to expand into other countries in Europe. This is, I mean, it's shocking. It's not something we've seen since, the days of World War II in Europe. I mean, this is a real change. I mean, what Terrell is describing reminds me of, stories I would hear about the Blitz in London, just hiding in the metro. This is, it's really unconscionable.
Terrell, to bolster what you just said on the show, CNN and MSNBC are now reporting a new round of bombing in Ukraine and in the capital. Let me ask you a question about information or disinformation. The Russian government deployed a massive disinformation campaign within the country of Ukraine and against the Ukrainians, stirring up false claims about border attacks and genocide committed by Ukraine against Russia. What is the sphere of influence that Putin has in Ukraine right now?
At this point, what the Ukrainian government has done over the years is flat out ban any entity that spreads disinformation. It just flats out just refuses to give it a broadcast license. They've taken those measures down. The disinformation is robust here. There are a lot of people who listen to it, but even more people don't at this point. But this is something that's really common with war. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to make sure what I'm hearing. But basically, it starts with the disinformation campaigns. It's been blitzing us over the past several days, over the past several weeks, in fact. But people have been resilient against it. But the problem is that Russia spends hundreds of millions of dollars in disinformation, not only against Ukraine, but also spreading it around the world. And Ukraine does not have a counter to that. And unfortunately, the narrative of Ukrainians being Nazis. By the way, all this is a lie. I've been covering this country for years. Everything that not only that comes through via disinformation, but just coming out of the Kremlin. You have to treat Putin and every spokesperson out of the Kremlin as hostile actors to the truth. You have to treat them like Trump. Anything they say is with context, or in fact, don't publish it at all, because everything they're saying is a lie. But unfortunately, it's making its way into Western media, and people are buying into it. I mean, I see it online all the time. People with real avatars are circulating this, and people like myself are trying to fight it. But Russia has spent years investing in this propaganda machine, and it's taking every bit of strength for all of us to fight it.
Naveed, the World Health Organization is warning that the conflict could create a health emergency and a humanitarian catastrophe in Europe. What kind of fallout do you think we could see in Europe and Ukraine?
Well, I mean, you're listening to what Terrell is saying. So far, the Ukrainian people have not been swarming out of the country in droves. And I think in large parts that's owed to President Zelensky, who really tried to ensure that there was no panic. And it seems that Ukrainians are not doing that. So they're very clearly a very resilient people. But look, the reality is that tonight, Kyiv is under siege. It is very likely that the Russian tactic is going to be to encircle the cities, not necessarily go in and do street-to-street fighting, and to do this sort of boa constrictor, to squeeze the cities and try to get them to negotiate a surrender. That's undoubtedly going to create a humanitarian crisis. The Russians have not. Terrell has. It looks like he has electricity and I'm assuming running water. The Russians have not stopped that, but at some point they may, and that would, of course, create a human catastrophe. Just cutting cell services that would impact hospitals. So we have not seen that yet, but that does not mean that it won't happen. Look, Putin's invading a country with naked aggression. For him to sort of create a humanitarian crisis, I don't think is beyond the pale for him. He, all bets are off the table right now. He'll do whatever he wants to ensure a decisive military victory. And I think, unfortunately, that means even punishing non-combatants and civilians.
We're bracing for that.
Terrell, I have about a minute left here, but Ukrainian officials leading up to the invasion kept downplaying. The West kept saying, this is coming, this is going to happen. The White House kept saying, it's coming, it's going to happen. The Ukrainian officials kept trying to tamp that down. And maybe it was to try to quell any kind of chaos that could have broken out on the ground and keep people calm. And even some citizens, when interviewed by Western media, would say, we don't think it's going to happen. How shocked are people that there is, in fact, an invasion, a war happening in their country right now?
No one is shocked by this at all. The reason why Zelensky was doing that and trying to push back against it, one, he was asking, if you have any intelligence that I don't have access to, please share it. That was one thing. Number two, he is the leader of a country and he's trying to maintain investor confidence in the country, because beyond the military actions that's literally happening right now, what Russia wants to do is to shake Western faith in Ukraine, and not only break it militarily, but break it from an economic standpoint, break it from a point where it is so toxic to the West that they no longer want to invest in it. They want businesses to not invest in this country. And so that's what he's trying to do. And when Zelensky was calling for calm, he had to be a president that everyone saw as confident, as somebody who knew that they were going to stand up. And so he was in a very precarious situation. So it wasn't like he was trying to push, trying to suggest that it wasn't a big deal. He was just trying to show his country that he was strong and trying to maintain some sense of calm amidst the chaos of Putin.
Terrell Star and Naveed Jamali, thank you both for joining me tonight. Terrell, stay safe over there.